Welcome to Fully Bright in 10, where we get it right, get bright, and stay bright. In this video, we will continue with how to study and pass CSEC Economics. And remember, we are focusing on paper 2. Now, let's look at some level 2 questions. Together, these questions carry the most marks. So, it is important that you answer them. Level 2 questions require knowledge application and can involve some brief real-world situations or scenarios. Generally, these questions will ask you to explain or discuss. Be sure to use economic concepts and answer, even if it makes sense that does not highlight economic principles, and concepts is likely to earn less than full marks. Here's an example. Explain why externalities lead to market failure. An explanation is externalities are benefits or costs arising from the production or consumption of goods and services that affect third parties. The benefits are called positive externalities, while the costs are termed negative externalities. Both negative and positive externalities are not captured in the free market. As a result, externalities lead to goods and services being underproduced or overproduced. Now, highlighting third-party effects is important. In other words, it must be clear that there are persons who can benefit or suffer from the production process. You must highlight that externalities are not captured in the market, so producers or consumers do not take the positive or negative effects into account. Also, you must conclude that as a result of these externalities, there will be too much or too little produced in the market. Now let's consider a market failure question using a brief scenario. Tamia is the only producer of eyeglasses in Sunville. Explain how her eyeglasses business creates a market failure problem. An explanation is, Tamia is an example of a monopolist. As a result, she is able to set very high prices for eyeglasses than would be the case in a competitive market. This in turn restricts output or leads to underproduction. Thus, the market fails to supply the socially optimal number of eyeglasses. Now, identifying that Tamia is a monopolist is important. The setting of high prices and the restriction of output are also key points to make. Then highlighting that these lead to market failure is a must. Now let's look at level 3 questions. Please do not shy away from these questions. Remember, you have the ability to answer them. Level 3 questions generally require you to analyze data or more detailed scenarios, illustrate scenarios on a graph, or carry out calculations related to a given problem and possibly draw conclusions. Here is an example of a level 3 question. Tika has decided to review the cost of operating her business for 12 months. She pays $200 every month to rent a nail care station and $50 for monthly water usage. Although she faced change in cost, these only amounted to $100. For each additional worker she employed, she incurred $1, $1.25, $1.50, $1.75, and $2 to offer an additional unit of nail care. Given the scenario above, calculate fixed cost, marginal cost, and total cost. For fixed cost, we have 12 months times $200, which is the rent per month, plus 12 months times $50 per month, which gives you a total of $3,000. For marginal cost, just simply sum up all the marginal cost given. This totals $7.50. And finally, for total cost, this is the sum of fixed cost and the total variable cost given in the scenario. So the total is $3,100. Let's examine a question that involves drawing graphs. Jay, Matt, and Clay are interested in playing tennis and football. Using a production possibility frontier graph, demonstrate the following. 1. The more tennis games Jay plays, the more and more football games he gives up playing. 2. The more tennis games Matt plays, the fewer football games he gives up playing. 3. Clay always gives up playing 2 football games every time he plays a tennis game. Let's look at the answer for part 1. Now notice that Jay's example is one of increasing opportunity cost. So he is losing out on playing football at an increasing rate. As a result, we have a curve that bows outward from the origin. Now, Matt's example is one of decreasing opportunity cost. So the curve bows inward. And finally, Clay's example is one of constant opportunity cost. So we have a straight line. Now, let's use the information in this table to analyze the state of Sunnyvale economic development and highlight the areas that should be of serious concern to the government. Remember, you can get a table with data from which to conduct some analysis. Now, looking at the table, you see that we have several indicators of economic development: GDP per capita, poverty level, access to safe water, literacy rate, and road quality. Carefully think about what you would write if you were asked to analyze the state of Sunnyvale economic development. A possible response could be the following. Sunnyvale experienced sustained increases in GDP per capita, literacy rates, and the quality of its roads from year 1 to year 4. At the end of year 4, these increases were at very high levels. However, we noticed that the poverty level remained high, even though there was some improvement in year 2. Also, less than 50% of the population has access to safe water. Thus, the government needs to focus on improving the poverty level and access to safe water in Sunnyvale. Now, It is very important to review subject reports. Review as many subject reports as you can. You can start with the ones in the syllabus. These reports provide details on the responses for an examination. They give information about the general performance of candidates, what they did wrong and what they did right. Reports also provide recommendations to improve performance. So, reviewing subject reports will help you to avoid mistakes made by candidates and do exactly what is required for maximum marks. Finally, let's talk about the big day. On your exam day, stay calm. Arrive at the examination center on time and remember, you can get a grade 1 because you have the ability. I hope this guide is helpful and will help you prepare to get your grade 1. Thanks for watching. And don't forget to subscribe to Fully Bright in 10, where we get it right, get bright, and stay bright.